Yeah, hello everyone. It's 9:54 p.m. 11/2/2021 Eastern Standard Time, U.S. by New York City and New Jersey. If that's not enough information for you, I don't know what is. I'm here to do an update on my take, what I think's going on with the volcano, the state and point that things are at. Briefly, I just wanted to mention some photos that I put up in the community section. I didn't realize that probably wasn't a good idea to do them all at once like that. I didn't know that like everyone might be contacted or notified. I never did it before, so I didn't realize that. So if you got like 7 notifications or whatever, I'm sorry about that. I didn't realize that. I'm just not familiar with doing it or anything like that. I don't get notifications for a lot of things. Others' comments don't show up and are censored, so I just sort of gave up on all of that long ago because I don't get those messages. Others can't get through to me, and so I don't even know. I'm just assuming that because I put up all those photos that it gave a notification for each one. If that happened, I didn't mean to do that, so I hope it didn't, aggravate you too much if that's the case. But what they are, they're images, pictures, photos, snapshots that I got from footage from La Palma from the live feeds, and that's what I found in the sky. I really should just leave it like that. There's a lot of reasons why I'm saying that. If you don't realize what the significance of it is and what you're looking at, well, again, they're heavenly bodies. They're close to the earth, and perhaps it's said that this could affect the earth globally, as far as volcanoes go, and earthquakes, and also weather. So I think maybe if you don't know really what this is, that you'll get the general picture from my description here, and that's about all I really should say for certain reasons. So, with that being said, if this is the case, then that alone is a major concern and factor in what might be going on over there with the volcano in the Canary Islands and the world globally. Now, I've noticed such objects in the sky for years now, but really not as large, which seems like much closer. So that's what I was referring to in the last video this morning when I came on, when I had the sense just by looking at the volcano and what I saw in the sky, and that it was gray, and it it seemed to me like maybe, you know, some force was going to exert upon that situation right now in the state of things at the point that we're at. Um, Now there was a 5.0 earthquake today. I'm going to say it was a 5.0 for this reason. It came in at 4.8 and it was dropped down twice, all the way down to 3.8. And this was on Eagle's site, his channel. He was following this live. So I know it's a fact. You're not going to find, you know, reports of quakes really on any site, um, really at all, of any significance for the Canary Islands. And the few that are doing that, over and over, it's reported that it gets dropped down, way dropped down, like a half a point or even a point. So an escalation in magnitude is still in the cards. It's still in play for any day now in the immediate future and beyond. So even though something titanic didn't take place today, I'm going to talk about that in a second, try to make this all short. Still, there was a 5, and so now that has become common, basically, and like ho-hum. It doesn't seem like much. And just because something doesn't happen exactly, on a certain day, it's a time frame, and it's a countdown. is what's happening here. So, like I mentioned a few days ago, from a few days ago on, right now, into the immediate days ahead and beyond, we're in this time frame, this time zone, this expectation of further magnitudes um, to occur. And I'll repeat that the official statement in the Canary Islands is to expect 6.0 quakes. This was said over a week ago, probably maybe 2 weeks ago. So it's not stretching the imagination, what I'm saying here. Nor is 7.0 or higher 8.0 something that couldn't happen or is unlikely to happen. I'd say it is more likely than not. The magnitudes have just grown greater and greater and greater over the past months as this has progressed. And I'm also giving high significance and credence to a certain YouTube channel of forecasts and charting out asteroid patterns for specific dates and times of likely effects upon the Earth. In particular, the concern here is with La Palma and the Cumbre Vieja volcano. So I mentioned this person before several times. I'll just say Eagle. That's the nickname, part of his channel name. It's sort of a countdown. In other words, that started this past week and will continue. And he's giving continuous dates really any day, every day from now on, for all different types of reasons, also solar storms, solar winds. And they're continuing ongoing warnings with different asteroids. As a matter of fact, I feel a shaking here right this second. I'm not sure what it was, but it feels like sort of a tremor kind of feeling, definitely. So anyway, let me put it this way. He's been expecting from the last, days here from last week right now, especially the last 2 or 3 days, that the greatest impact upon that volcano has started. The time period, the time clock has started for that possibility for very high magnitude quakes in that range, 7, 8, or 8 or more. So I need to clarify that because I'm not making, predictions, although it might seem that way to you for specific days. Although the possibility is here and has come. And once more, the reports on these eruptions have been totally downgraded drastically. So though it might sound like big news, in the past few days here, we're hearing, that a 5 has finally hit, as if that's a major threshold has been hit that hasn't been hit before. There's been 5s right along here for weeks. It's been dropped down. And also, that's not the only factors involved here, just earthquakes and their magnitude for a lot of different reasons. Yes, a substantially larger quake could do the dirty work, could do the damage to produce a break-off. Yes, that's definitely the issue here. Though continuous quakes, even minor ones or medium-sized ones, continue to take a pounding toll on that land, continuing to, impact it and loosen it or whatever's going on down there with the magma and the fault lines and fissures. And it's just really a big mess. Now, I'm not a volcanologist or geologist, but I sort of want to put my 2 cents in here and tell you what I think and some things I've been hearing, information. So there's words like the interplay or interdynamics or the combined factors of everything involved here, examining them together, not just singularly. I guess another word would be synergistically. You get the idea of what I'm trying to say. The main thing I want to say here about that is that there's reports, it's being said that even the scientists have been surprised and baffled at what has happened with this situation with this volcano. So, I mean, if that's true, then what I'm expressing here is true also, that there's so much involved. But yet, if we look at and examine these different factors, I think we could get a really good picture of what is truly happening. I don't know, there's a rumbling again. I don't know what's going on. I don't know if it was an airplane, but seemed like rumbling. But so anyway, like I said about the fact that from the start here, things have been progressively going downhill with the situation, with the volcano, with the structure, with its magnitude of eruption and fierceness, with the frequency and increase in strength and power of earthquakes occurring. So that hasn't changed, and that's on a trajectory course to go higher. Though, as I said, there's a lot of factors involved here, not just in that, isolated alone. So, okay, there's been a spreading out of the quakes from the volcano region outward, northerly, easternly, westerly, southerly. So that would seem to indicate more cracking, more magma movement. There's been like over 35,000 earthquakes, as amazing as it can sound, since the start of all of this. So a lot of that, has been small little shakes, but the more it shakes, the more it's loosening things continuously. There's been a steady increase of activated vents opening and eruptions there and magma flows. There's been breakthroughs on the cone and on the side of the volcano, just breaking through with new magma spots opening, and also at the bottom areas, not just the cone, but down below. Also other areas away from even there opening up, new spots of lava breaking through the ground, and lava coming out in different locations down in other areas too. There's been a lot of steam, white steam, coming out of all these areas and sort of like running in a line right through the volcano, right down different lines and areas. So I guess that seems to indicate that there's a great deal of pressure, magma movement and pressure that's still going on and increasing in all of this. And the whole network of tubes and veins running to and away from the volcano to different areas, to other cones and other locations, seems to be under tremendous pressure also, with magma trying to push not only to this volcano but to the other regions all over. So, and also forcing magma up from deep right under the volcano, right from what I guess is the mantle. Others are saying it's actually coming from the mantle way down there, considering the depth of the earthquakes. Then it said that water trapped in the layers throughout the whole island, really, but on the volcano itself, where the tubes and veins are, can get superheated, and that may be one of the reasons why the land is rising, because it's pushing up, breaking up, putting tremendous force on the ground to push it up, because it can't explode. It has to just has great force, and that's all it could do. It's trying to break loose, and also if it does, it could vaporize and cause a great tremendous explosion from that. So I just saw a map. It's an infrared topographic satellite image that shows areas that are either rising or falling, which has been happening daily in different parts. But anyway, the thing that I saw was that apparently that break-off point, or the fault line, if you will, that runs right through the center of the island from basically north to south sort of from the volcano. That's the major area of concern, and that's what the map showed. Major activity was happening with lifting right on that crack, and as well on the west side of that, but not as much in a more confined area. This is yet the east side of that line shows that it has sunk. That's right along that whole crack, that whole region, that whole point that I believe fell, I guess, 10 feet in the other past eruptions, but it stopped there, stopped in its tracks, but it fell 10 feet, but it's been sitting there, sort of, I guess you could say it's been dangling there, waiting for whatever, another time to possibly complete the task. And that whole southwest flank has been continuously shaken months and months before the eruption at Cumbre. Again, over 35,000, probably up to more now. Unbelievable has happened. So it's starting to paint the picture of what I'm saying here. And also there was a major report like a month ago, as far back even more, that there was the areas of the north that this was happening to also. A large part of the north east, I think, rose, and then the other 4 inches, and then the other side sank 4 inches. So, I mean, it doesn't necessarily take a larger earthquake to cause this to happen, to cause that land to break. Yet it seems imminent, and that could very well be the point. And whenever that takes place, it could be expected really at any time now. That's the point. You don't have to be a doctor to look at someone and say, something doesn't look right, that person looks very ill, and it's obvious. Well, you don't have to be a volcanologist or a geologist or a physicist to even just look at that mountain like I did this morning, that volcano, and see that it seems terminally ill at this second, like a person at their last stages, at the last moments of their life. And from the prophetic standpoint of me, what I've been experiencing lately for quite a long while here through all of this, just seemingly thing after thing after thing, pointing to me that the time is at hand, that God is showing us, is warning the world, warning and telling us that Jesus is returning, and that's a part of this, major part of this. That's why I'm covering this. So this has been reinforced to me time after time, over and over, all these days here up to this moment. That's why I'm saying things in this way. Plus, I mean, if this happens, if this goes down and a tsunami is caused, there's no saying that believers will even be here, to witness a big quake or even a break-off at all, or taken before this even takes place. Or at the moment it happens, but far before a wave might arrive. So, I mean, there's a lot of possibilities with all of this. Differing opinions about the timing of the rapture, and even if and when this might even happen at all. So there's a major gathering of world leaders right at this moment away from the United States over in Scotland. It's said to be the home of Masonry, Masonic roots, and globalistic conversation right this moment taking place. Major agreements that seem on the verge of coming into being here any moment. Really, 0 hour has come now as far as the V goes. Many feel like there's no way out and that they have no choice, and otherwise their very existence and life is threatened. And now children and even infants will be required with this. So it's multifaceted what's going on, not just with the volcano as I briefly described, but the overall world situation and the prophetic situation altogether here. Whatever the story is with those ships all parked off the coast, the west coast, supposedly not being allowed to, and shortages and what have you, who knows what the truth is. But it certainly looks ominous no matter how you look at any of this right down the line. So I'm not worried. I'm peaceful. I'm restful, even though I haven't slept again for I don't even know how long, but I have energy again. So I'm sort of like running on empty, but in a good way. Actually, I felt the best that I felt in such a long time in every way. It felt like a special moment today as I was out and about. I have to get away from that light. Terrible problem with lighting here. So I'll talk to you later. That's it for now. I'll check and see what happens later on, if anything. See you later. God bless.